white box that you just saw with home painted on it, and then the velcroed O that's this month a 4-leaf clover. I made that. Like, that's something I made. I made it back when I had my little home crafting company out of my garage in Missouri. These are things I love to make. One day I'll have the space to open up that creative side of me again so that I can do the woodworking and the reusing of used wood that everybody else would throw away. I loved making something beautiful into it, like my home box that I'm currently sitting on. Those O's interchange with the seasons and with the months and the holidays, and I'm gonna really make sure that I share it with you this season. When you're a mom of 4 kids, the job is never done, and there's always something to run off and go do. So I'm back. Now, let's talk about the main thing that I am here to talk to you about today. It's season 2 of Zodiac Tiller. I am so excited. I have been thinking about this a lot. I have a lot of plans. I have a lot to share with you. I have a lot that I've already been recording throughout the winter, but I decided my first video for season 2, where I'm actually able to talk. Yesterday I wasn't able to, but today I am. I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about what I learned last season. I want to talk about where I currently am today. So bear with me. Lots of thoughts rolling around in my head, so let's get to it. Something that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you were a lot of my thoughts about last season and the growing. I've got a notebook here where I've been taking some notes of things that I want to talk about. And the biggest thing is last season, different aspects that are involved with it, and a lot of emotions that go in with your garden. When something starts to look sad or starts to look stressed, you feel sad and stressed over it. And I can handle that a lot easier because it's a little bit of my part-time job, managing my garden in the backyard and the plan with all of it. So I found my passion inside of it, and I'm going to take it over a lot more this season. So I've got big plans. When I ended last season, it was fall. It was starting to be winter time, and I've never had a garden before. I didn't know what to expect in the winter, so I kind of just let everything go. So let's go take a look at how everything looks right now. One of the big things I got accomplished yesterday was cleaning up this little flower bed, garden bed that we have in the front yard by our front porch steps. It was completely ran over with grass. I've gotten all the grass out, all the weeds out. Our rosemary from last year is still here. It is not very happy with me right now, but we have been having a long dry spell and I've not come out here to water it as much, so I hope she survives and forgives me. We have moved Madison's succulent to the front, as you saw in the last video, and I went ahead and moved the sage to the front. I saw that sage and rosemary are good companion plants, as well as carrots. So we are actually going to plant some carrots in the front here along with these herbs and see how they do together. This large white pot holds our money tree. As you can see, during the winter, it did not like the cold weather. I did not bring it inside. I've had problems in the past with gnats, so I'm hoping this girl is alive. That's what she is. I hope she comes back. I'm continuing to water her and love on her, and we'll see what happens. My African violet suffered the same fate as everything else on the front porch. I left it all outside during the winter. Here in South Carolina, the days get really warm and the nights get cold. It doesn't really drop below, I think our lowest is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So it doesn't get as cold as I'm used to being in Missouri, but it's cold enough to kill the plants I see. So what I'm gonna do with these is actually just try to clean them up and hope that they start to grow back. The African violet, like I said, did not survive. It did come back to life last year really quickly here in South Carolina, so I'm hoping it will do the same this year. And then maybe by the end of next year, I'll have a greenhouse or something so that I can save them without having to bring them inside our house. The purple queen, as you can see, it looks completely dead except for this little hanging in there purple guy. So this gives me hope for all these other plants that maybe there's hope and they'll come back. Again, they need to be cleaned out, cleaned up, and given the chance to survive. The moon right now is not in line with pruning, so I don't want to do too much and cause them too much harm since they're in such a weak state. This was our prayer plant. It did not hold a prayer. It needs a prayer to come back. It's the same type of fate as everything else. It froze. It didn't last the winter, but we're gonna just watch and see. Maybe it's gonna survive. If it doesn't, lesson learned, but you know, it's all right. It's all a learning cycle. Here's our begonia. This was Madison's begonia that she made in kindergarten. It stayed alive. We did have it indoors originally, and then it came outside and it absolutely thrived outside. And then I left it outside throughout the winter. I'm hoping it comes back. It seems to feel springy, like it wants to come back, like it's not cracking and breaking off, but we'll see. All of these plants I left outside throughout our South Carolina winter. All of these plants should not have been left out in our cold, below freezing nights. That's what did them in. But let's see if they come back this year. My flamingo plant is another plant I left out here on the front porch throughout the winter here in South Carolina. Zone 8. We're right in between A and B, so I just say we're zone 8. It did not like the cold temperatures either. But last year it bounced back and it thrived, so let's see what it does this year. I really rearranged everything in the garden, and to be honest, I'm about to rearrange it all again. While my alternative plots worked out really well, I learned alternative pots and growing things in pots require a lot more maintenance than they do in the ground. The roots can't go as far, so things probably didn't grow as big as they could have, as well as they require a lot more watering. I thought it would be the opposite, but it is not. You need to water it a lot more if they're in pots and plants. For the most part, everything died throughout the frozen temperatures of the winter as expected, but some things didn't, so let me share that with you. The Mexican sage is dead, but the Mexican sage is coming back to life. So something I plan to do with this is just cut it down. I guess that's pruning. Just kind of chop it and let the new one come to life and be the life this season. Our lemon trees did not fare very happily throughout the winter. We don't have a greenhouse, so we had nowhere to store them, but they did survive. They're still green. They're much happier now that the temperatures are coming back to warmer. We're back in our warm cycle here in zone 8 of South Carolina. This is the one we're really worried about. I took off all of the dead leaves, but then they continued to die. But this green down here, it gives me hope that maybe it's not totally dead and it's gonna bounce back. This little guy did really well. I'm really proud of the smallest one of all surviving. We've added some strawberry plants to our garden. You saw my daughter and I plant this one that we got from Walmart in our last video. And then this one we bought at the seed store, and it's gorgeous. So we're gonna see how they compare in a few weeks. The aloe did not like the winter temperatures as well. Most of the extensions on the outside had died off. They still have some green at the base, which is really nice. I'm not sure how to tend to these. I think I'm gonna prune them and cut all the dead off soon. And then this one completely died. But it's all a learning curve. I wanna see how things do, how they fare. As you can see, this one that's completely dead, I actually just saw there might be some life under there. We'll see. When the moon says it's right, I'm going to prune. Landscape fabric for the garden grow bags did really well. The large ones did not do so well. And this one, it looks like something got into it. and busted it open. I was absolutely stunned. The cilantro did so well throughout the winter, as did the chives, as did the English thyme. Now you've already seen the sage that we have in the front yard now. It kind of looks a little stressed, but we're just gonna see what happens. Again, I'm stunned these survived. The garden with grow bags and alternative pots is absolutely fantastic, especially for a renter. I didn't feel bad digging in the dirt, but I also had the intentions of moving away from this home fairly quickly. As we'll discuss soon, I don't think we're going to be moving soon because I have huge plans to reduce our debt to make a different path for us. Because debt has caused us to be in this situation, I need to free myself of this burden a lot more to get the extravagant that I want. Okay, let's talk about my plans for my future garden. This garden that I've already started. I have seedlings growing inside the house full of tomatoes, chives, oregano. The oregano hasn't popped up, but we'll see. Pepper plants. I'm just like over the moon excited for all the things. Now, I want to make an impact and a benefit for my family through my garden. And in order to do that, especially during these times, it's to eliminate at least one thing that we would buy from the grocery store. My plan for that is spaghetti sauce, tomato paste, whatever I can make. I want to be able to make spaghetti sauce from the things that I grow in my garden. Another thing that I want to eliminate from the store would be some herbs. If I could grow an abundance of herbs and then figure out how to dry them or preserve them or do something so that I don't have to go to the store for them, I would love to do that as well. Next, I am in debt. I have a terrible credit score. I have bad debt that's out there. It's not that much, but it's enough to impact me and to steer my life. And for me, those are chains. I don't want somebody else to determine what I can do with my life. So I'm really going to focus on becoming debt-free, on building a side business, and I'm going to share with you how I'm able to work full-time at my job that I get paid at, but also create a second income for myself. I have done this in the past. I have smaller space to work with now. I don't have a garage. I don't have a garage where I can build things. I don't have the space to expand and store all the things that's required to have extra space to have an extra business. I am going to try to build Zodiac Tiller. One of those things is to be more reachable. So I have joined Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram if you'd like to. I'm just going to share what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, but more of it's still going to be on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is where I enjoy talking and sharing my life and vlogging. So that's really where it's going to be. Instagram is just more of my crazy random thoughts. I believe with all of my heart, with all of my mind, body, and soul, that we are a community from God. We are given earth and plants and things to thrive and things to survive from God. And to be in His church is to be a part of His community and to be among like-minded people that understand my way of thinking and that believe the same things as me, so that I know that when my family is around those people or viewing those people, we're not disrupting one another's thoughts. We're not harming one another. We're encouraging and growing one another as God grows within us. So I hope that you enjoy season 2 and are excited for season 2 as much as I am. And I hope that maybe you'll go visit my Instagram page and follow me over there as well. I also hope that you would make give me that thumbs up like button, or make a comment. Say hi. Tell me who you are, where you're from, and I'd love to know more about you so that I can learn from something from you. Thank you so much for the time today. I'm just over the moon excited with anticipation for what is to come for me, for my family, for my channel, for my homestead. I hope that you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and that you can find a path for yourself that makes you just as full of joy as I am. God bless.